and we're going to talk about Mississippi State against Kentucky. Kentucky had a great start to their season. Will Levis goes down, and then they start to really just fade away. They had some issues in the last couple of weeks. Kentucky's having a lot of issues, not just at the quarterback position. Their defense has been pretty rough. Offensive line has shown some issues. We talked about last week that Kentucky's absolutely doomed without Will Levis. Well, looks like he'll play in this one, but Mississippi State has been one of those teams that you could make a solid argument, Steve, that this has been the most underrated team in all in college football this year with Mississippi State. And they go into Kentucky in this one, and I'm actually really sitting on Mississippi State. They're only a 4-point favorite. I'm just not excited about what Kentucky's done the last few weeks. I don't think they've done enough probably to get these adjustments done. I love Will Levis. I think he's a quarterback that we're going to be talking about next year at the pro level. But this rest of this team just makes me absolutely nervous. And I think Mississippi State can really expose Kentucky's defense. I'm going to take Mississippi State with -4 here because I think they get the job done pretty easy.
Yeah, I'm with you, and it pains me because I mean, I maybe more than anyone has been on that Kentucky wildcard bandwagon, and the more that I've watched them, the more their defense has been exposed. Their offensive line is just not good. Yeah, okay. There's been some injuries. They are not protecting the quarterback. Chris Rodriguez has done a great job of finding openings now that he's back, but he's really having to work for those yards he's getting, and I think that's showing up late in games where he's really tired. Not because he missed the games with suspension. He's just having to really bang for those yards that he gets. And bad on me. I have been downplaying Mississippi State all year, and shame on me for not mentioning even once Will Rogers and as a possible Heisman candidate. I don't know that he gets into the final, but I mean, he's done everything you could ask of him. He's thrown for 22 touchdowns and only 3 picks. But most importantly, when you go back, and I've generally gone back to watch Mississippi State, on the little video, games in 30, games in 60, whatever it would be. He's patient enough that he just waits and finds just the right opportunity to deliver the ball to the right receiver at the right time to keep a drive going, to register a touchdown. Mississippi State has earned the respect of all college football fans. And I today on this show say, I'm sorry, Mississippi State fans. I've shortchanged you all year. And by all means, hate mail should come directly to me at Feckless Wonder, not to Christian or to Slasher Sports. It's not their fault. It's my fault. I was really skeptical, and I'm an absolute true believer now.
Mississippi State has really thrown the football, and that's something that we have seen. They're averaging over 350 yards per game. Kentucky's almost letting up 200 yards per game through the air, and that's a lot for an SEC opponent. I just lean towards Mississippi State here. What does Kentucky need to do to get this win? Rodriguez needs to step up. They need to stop doing reverses on the first play like they did last week. That South Carolina game was a rough one for them because Levis was out. I'm trying my hardest not to, define Kentucky's entire season on that SC loss. The Ole Miss loss was because of turnovers at the end. They should have won that football game. They just had 2 really bad weeks. This could easily be one of those games that Kentucky turns it around, rebounds, and finishes off their season. They have a lot to lose in this one. 4-3 looks a lot worse than 5-2, especially in the SEC. But on the other hand, Mississippi State, they win this football game. The only loss they have is to LSU, who was on the grind after that loss at the beginning of the season. They move to 6-1 if they win this football game. They're right up there in the SEC West, especially if Alabama loses to Tennessee. Really, the only competition they would be running into would be Ole Miss, who should take care of Auburn today. I'm leaning towards Mississippi State. I think this game has the potential to be close, but that's not where I'm leaning. I think they can take care of a -4 spread pretty easily.
I guess the fanboy in me for Kentucky says that Kentucky is going to find a way, give them the points and they'll they'll be able to win it as far as a bet goes. But as far as a football game goes, I think it's Mississippi State. And again, they have a lot at stake here,
Mhm.
and I think that their coaching staff's going to be okay. Look, we'll worry about what the Alabama outcome is when that score turns a final, but none of that matters unless you take care of business today. And if they beat Kentucky and they beat them soundly, meaning above the spread by more than a touchdown, I think now you do have an instant debate when Tennessee beats Alabama for who is the SEC West representative, in the conference title game. It'll be fun. I want to believe in Kentucky, but I think it's more of a fact that there's two star players on the Kentucky roster more than Kentucky is an all around SEC contending football team. So I'm going to let my fanboys say that Kentucky with the points would be the winning bet on this, but I'm not super confident in that.
All right, there you have it.